Okay, you have probably heard about the iPhone 7, that iPhone 7 was the first Apple device to ditch the headphone jack. But what if we use this device in 2020? Well, I used this device in 2020 and here is my experience with this device. Before we deeply dive into this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also turn on the notification by pressing the bell icon. iPhone 7 was a fantastic device when it was launched back in September 2016, and now it's a long time since Apple released this device. This device looks pretty much same as the iPhone 6. The iPhone 8 was its successor, which was overshadowed by the iPhone 10 and then by the iPhone XR. It's probably an old device and also have older processor, but the reason I choose to review this device in 2020 is because it cost less than the iPhone 8. First, take a look at the design and display. There are not too much changes in iPhone 6, iPhone 6s and iPhone 7's design, but when it comes to the color, the new jet black finish is really eye-catching. A jet black iPhone 7 looks really premium. It's not like the plastic iPhone 5C. This is a phone made out of a metal. It attracts fingerprints, which makes this device look little off, but it's okay. The second new color on offer is simply called black. This replaces the space gray of previous models and makes the iPhone 7 looks little more attractive. Its size and shape is almost identical to the previous models. The only thing that changed are the antenna bands that are now at the curve around the ends. The camera knob is more rounded as compared to the previous models. The iPhone 7 retains those chunky top and bottom areas of its bezel, and this means it offers less screen space than its competitors, such as Galaxy S7. It came with the same size and resolution as the iPhone 6s. Its screen size is 4.7-inch screen and 750 by 1344 pixels, having 326 ppi density. There is no change in resolution. That doesn't mean that there are no improvements. The iPhone 7 now has a wide color gamut display, which allows it to reproduce brighter, more intense shades of color. And as an extra bonus, its panel is now claimed 25% brighter than the display on the iPhone 6s. Colors on the iPhone 7 look much richer and punchier, and blacks were noticeably darker. It reproduced 95.8% of the sRGB color gamut, not quite as high a figure as the best Android handset, but the quality of those colors means that it is more accurate than most of the Android devices. I think there are not too much things to talk about the iPhone 7 design and display. The newly redesigned home button also takes some getting used to. This time around, Apple's replaced the mechanical aspect of the iPhone 7's home button with a similar kind of capacitive force touch technology found on its MacBook and MacBook Pro products. Rather than pressing inwards with a standard click, the button now simply vibrates whenever you apply any pressure, giving you enough feedback to let you know you have pressed it properly without moving anything inside the phone. It also doesn't work with gloves, which isn't particularly good news if you live in an area which is cold. The device came with improved water and dust protection. Its IP67 rating means you can now drop the phone in up to a meter of water for up to 30 minutes without damaging its internals, which means it's not an issue if you use your device in heavy rain. The iPhone 7 may have kept the same 2GB of RAM as the iPhone 6s, but this seems more than adequate. You can have plenty of apps open at the same time and switching between them is fast and slick. That is where RAM helps. Apple used a quad-core CPU for the first time in iPhone 7. But it doesn't use all four of them at once. Two of the cores are powerful and used for the heavy lifting, 3D gaming, multitasking and the like. The other two are low powered and much more efficient, perfect for light tasks such as sending messages or using the email app. The iPhone 7 is 30% faster than the iPhone 6s. It's also 12% more powerful than the Galaxy S7. In short, I'm impressed by the performance. Even it's an older device, but it provides impressive performance. For battery life, I can say it's a problem. Every day, I have to put my device on a charge before the day ends. Even on a moderate use, I ran out of the juice. The iPhone 7 actually has a larger battery than the iPhone 6s and a processor that should help with efficiency, and in some cases, it does last a while. For example, it hardly drops any charge at all when not in use. However, in practice, I have found the iPhone 7 has the shortest battery life I've experienced. The larger iPhone 6s Plus or Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge are miles ahead of it, and it doesn't even come close to the tiny iPhone SE. Apple claims the iPhone 7 has a longer battery life than the iPhone 6s by 2 hours, but I'm not sure under which circumstances. The iPhone 7's new improved camera isn't as immediately impressive as its specs might suggest, while its 12-megapixel sensor has been improved since the iPhone 6s, introducing optical image stabilization, a brighter f1.8 aperture that lets 50% more light into the new 6-element lens, and a quad LED flash. Outdoors, the iPhone 7 produced brighter colors and better contrast shots than the iPhone 6s, but indoor things didn't quite pan out as expected. While my little still life arrangement was on the whole sharper, crisper, and richer on the iPhone 7, shadow areas were extremely blotchy, which in turn affected the edges of my still life objects. There are no manual controls to tinker. However, the iPhone seems to take good pictures regardless of the settings. There are a few inconsistencies though. I found the exposure to vary from picture to picture, taken one right after another. One picture would overexpose and blow out the surrounding sky and clouds, while the next would be spot on, providing more equal exposure across the board. Apple has doubled the brightness of the flash too, so if it's really dark you can still take some good shots. It still uses the True Tone system, which attempts to adopt the color of the flash depending on the ambient lighting. This helps provide more realistic skin tones. Taking video using the iPhone 7 is also a joy. You can shoot at 4K or 1080p if you want a higher frame rate. Slow motion is still as delightful as the first time I used it. The front-facing camera or FaceTime camera has also had a boost. It now has a 7-megapixel sensor and selfies look a little better than before. Both the rear and front-facing cameras are a bit better than the previous iPhone 6s. The iPhone 7 is a great phone except its battery life. Its camera, screen, and performance are awesome. The iPhone 7 128GB cost about $155 on Amazon if I'm not wrong. However, the iPhone 7's battery life is a real worry, and the lack of the headphone jack will be a major annoyance to some. I would recommend to go for the iPhone 8 instead of iPhone 7. Well, iPhone 8 cost more than the iPhone 7, but also iPhone 8 provides much and more better performance and experience as compared to this iPhone 7. Thank you so much for watching guys. My name is Hamza, this is AdvanceUnboxer, and I'll catch you in the next one.